Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 Renaissance Fund celebration in recognition of the Fund's 2020 honoree, the Penn State Alumni Association. I'm Rich Bundy, Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations at Penn State, and proud life member of the Penn State Alumni Association. I'd like to begin our program by acknowledging what a privilege it is to gather with you this evening. It's been a challenging year, but Penn Staters all over the globe have handled 2020's struggles impressively. In the face of adversity, you, the Penn State community, united to show support for your fellow Penn Staters in ways we couldn't have imagined. But then again, we've always known that our community is an exceptional one. To say we're fortunate is an understatement. And as we move forward, we'll continue to count on the Penn State Network to help us support and encourage Penn Staters around the world. Tonight, we'll take a much-needed pause from the pandemic to celebrate the contributions of the Penn State Alumni Association, an organization that has played a vital role in strengthening the Penn State Network and harnessing its full potential. During this year of social distancing, we can all recognize the need for an organization that actively seeks to bring people together. And for 150 years, the Alumni Association has done exactly that and so much more. Through its programming and philanthropic support, the association joins Penn Staters for unforgettable experiences and helps the university to provide new opportunities for alumni and friends year after year. Whether you've connected with other Penn Staters through an alumni interest group or soaked in the energy of the S-Zone at a home football game, I'm sure you can recall at least one unforgettable experience brought to you by the Penn State Alumni Association. This evening, we'll honor the association's contributions to the university, surrounding communities, and Penn Staters around the world by recognizing the organization as our 2020 Renaissance Fund honoree. At the same time, we'll celebrate a milestone in the organization's history, its 150-year anniversary. During our celebration, you'll hear more about the Renaissance Fund, its impact on high-achieving students with financial need, and the association's exceptional qualifications as the Renaissance Fund's 2020 honoree. You'll meet individuals who continue to elevate the Alumni Association's standards of excellence in service to Penn State. And perhaps most importantly, you'll hear stories that will paint a full picture of the Alumni Association's contributions to the university and communities around the globe. At this time, I'll turn things over to our opening speakers for the evening. First, you'll hear from the university's 18th president, Dr. Eric Barron, who will offer insight into how the Alumni Association has made a profound difference for the university. We will then be joined by George Henning, president of the Renaissance Fund Board of Directors, who will share more about the Renaissance Fund, its scholarships, and the Alumni Association as this year's honoree. Please join me in welcoming President Eric Barron.
Good evening. Molly and I wish to add our warmest welcome to the Penn State family who have joined us to celebrate the Penn State Alumni Association and what it means to our community. With us is a distinguished group of members of the Penn State Board of Trustees, as well as much of the past and present leadership of the Alumni Association. Everyone shares a bond that has been forged and strengthened through the PSAA. I'm very pleased to speak tonight about our incredible Alumni Association and its long and rich history. It has been a mainstay of university life since its founding in 1870. In 1898, it received a public relations boost from a student writing for the Freelance, which was the precursor to the Daily Collegian. He wrote, "It is assumed that every graduate will desire to connect himself with the organization and cheerfully aid in its efforts." He also noted, "It is now fast becoming a strong body capable of doing good work for the college, and it is earnestly hoped that it will promptly assert its power in favor of this thriving institution." At the time, there were only 400 graduates, but the membership came together to provide a $200 scholarship to a worthy student. That tradition has continued through the years, and the Penn State Alumni Association Renaissance Fund is a wonderful tribute to that philanthropy. Plus, it goes right to the core of the interests of the Alumni Association, that is, helping our community. The PSAA provides countless benefits to alumni and friends, including supporting vital areas of our university. Plus, it's a treasure trove of university history, and most of all, it's fun. The Penn State Alumni Association is a champion of the We Are spirit around the globe. But perhaps the most profound contribution made by the Penn State Alumni Association was summed up by an article in the Daily Collegian published in November of 1942. It said, quite simply, the Alumni Association knows all. What's more, it tells all when it comes to connecting alumni through its powerful network. When that article was written, Penn State alumni numbered 30,000. Today, there are more than 700,000 living alumni. 1 in 106 Americans with a college degree is a Penn State graduate. That number is 1 in 10 among Pennsylvanians. The power of the Penn State Alumni Network is at work every day, connecting our students and alumni and driving career success in every field, in every corner of the world. It is little wonder Penn State was ranked the #1 most powerful college network and is highly valued by alumni and friends alike. It has been an enduring presence at Penn State, and I'm thrilled it will now be a part of the Renaissance Fund scholarships, which are so important to our students. Last year, 729 Renaissance Fund scholarships were awarded to Penn State students. The award amount was $1,500. Of those students, 49% of the scholarship recipients came from first-generation families. 41% are from families with an income at or below 150% of the poverty level, and 51% come from single-family homes. Notably, the median grade point average of our Renaissance scholars for the last academic year was 3.69, and these students serve as leaders inside and outside the classroom. The Penn State Alumni Association Renaissance Fund Scholarship will allow us to continue our heritage of providing access to education for academically strong students who demonstrate the highest need. To Paul Clifford, his wonderful staff and volunteers, and everyone who is a part of the Alumni Association, on behalf of Penn State, congratulations on this honor. You have kept generations of students, faculty, staff, and alumni informed, enlightened, and entertained. The association's commitment to the welfare of others is a model for success. Thank you for all you do. And now, I'd like to invite George Henning, Jr. to say a few words. George is president of the Renaissance Fund's Board of Directors. He received a BA from the College of the Liberal Arts in 1963 and an MBA from Harvard Business School in 1965. George is a member of Lion's Paw and Skull and Bones, and he served for 2 terms on the Board of Trustees after being elected by the alumni. He is also an honorary Lion ambassador, so I suppose that means he can walk backwards around campus. George?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, President Barron. I'll echo Rich Bundy and Dr. Barron's warm welcome to this celebration of our 2020 Renaissance Fund honoree, the Penn State Alumni Association. This evening, you'll hear all about the Alumni Association's contributions to Penn State, the Center County region, and communities around the globe. It's my honor to share more about the Renaissance Fund and give you an overview of the Alumni Association's deserving recognition as this year's honoree. This evening, we're taking part in a proud Penn State tradition that dates back to 1969. That year, initial contributions from 5 members of the Penn State Board of Trustees created the first Renaissance Fund to offer financial support to gifted students with significant need. 51 years later, the fund continues to reward talent and dedication with opportunity. Each year, we gather to pay tribute to an individual, couple, or organization whose pride and service in our community will leave a lasting mark. And we honor them in a way that carries the tradition forward by endowing a new Renaissance Fund scholarship in their name, which will help talented students with great financial need receive a Penn State education. During the 2019-2020 academic year, more than 700 undergraduates across the university received more than $1 million in support from Renaissance Fund scholarships. The funds raised in honor of the Penn State Alumni Association will only increase that number and enhance the financial support we can offer. In fact, this year, the Penn State Alumni Association generously established a matching gift program to encourage Renaissance Fund support and increase the resources available to deserving students. From September 1 through November 15th, the association matched all gifts to a Renaissance scholarship with a gift of equal size to the Penn State Alumni Association Renaissance Scholarship. This unprecedented commitment will impact students for generations to come, but you'll have to wait until the end of the evening to learn just how much we've raised in total this year with the association's support. Until then, you'll learn more about the Alumni Association's 6 pillars. Under these guiding principles, the organization has touched the lives of our university's alumni and friends in almost every way you can imagine. Its local chapters, alumni interest groups, and networking opportunities join passionate alumni and friends around the globe. And its philanthropic support has helped to offer scholarships and exciting new opportunities for students at campuses across Pennsylvania. On behalf of the Renaissance Fund Board of Directors, I am proud to recognize the Penn State Alumni Association for their contributions, and I look forward to celebrating the organization with you over the course of this evening.
Thank you, George, and thank you, Dr. Barron. You know, we already knew the Alumni Association is special, but your words remind us of the rich history and continued excellence that make it not only unique, but truly exceptional. Our next speaker contributes daily to the Alumni Association's standards of excellence, making it a global leader among organizations of its kind. It's my pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Paul Clifford, Chief Executive Officer of the Penn State Alumni Association and Associate Vice President for Alumni Relations at Penn State. Please join me in welcoming Paul to speak.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you for joining us on this special evening for all Penn State alumni. Tonight, we are celebrating the Alumni Association's 150th anniversary and the impact we have on behalf of Penn State and her alumni. And of course, the celebration tonight is twofold. In July of 1870, a small group of loyal alumni gathered for the first time, unified in their support of their alma mater and fellow alumni. The Alumni Association was born, and over the past 150 years has been a driving force behind alumni support, involvement, philanthropy, and leadership. In 1969, another small group of Penn Staters gathered with a common purpose to support Penn State's academically gifted students with the greatest financial need. Thus began the Renaissance Fund. Since then, millions of dollars have been raised and thousands of lives impacted for the better. The great Margaret Mead quote comes to mind: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." This is quintessential Penn State. When the institution finds itself in its greatest need, alumni run to its aid. This tradition endures today through Alumni Association service, campaign leadership, and support of the student emergency funds and service on university task forces all over campus. I'm standing here in Robb Hall at the Hintz Family Alumni Center on our University Park campus. Through the stately elms outside my window, I can see Old Main, where the first meeting of these volunteers took place. I can feel the spirit of the founding volunteers, and if you listen closely, you can hear the echoes of generation past cheering us on. Tonight, we celebrate them, we celebrate you, and we celebrate those that'll follow us to carry on the Penn State tradition of service. We are honored to be this year's Renaissance Fund honoree, joining a long list of inspiring Penn State philanthropists and becoming the first organization to be recognized with this prestigious distinction. The Renaissance Fund mission overlaps with our mission at the Alumni Association, which makes this evening more special. Scholarship support has been at the forefront of the Alumni Association's impact, and we're excited to continue that with an endowed Renaissance Fund scholarship named after the Alumni Association. Renaissance Fund scholarships are awarded to Penn State's brightest students with the greatest need, extending the Penn State experience to worthy students who otherwise might not be able to continue their studies because of financial constraints. At the Alumni Association, we wake up every day with a renewed drive to connect Penn Staters with the university through the things they love most about their alma mater. We do this not for the sake of being the strongest, most powerful alumni association in the world. We do it because Penn Staters deserve nothing less than the best. The stories you'll hear tonight showcase our impact, each one focusing on a different way the Alumni Association supports the university through alumni that are connected for a lifetime. We are powered by pride. That pride is fueled by our 174,000 members, and it's driven by the 720,000 alumni we serve. It's aimed at supporting students, and it's in unison with campus partners close to home. Throughout the evening, we hope that you feel this pride and know that you have helped to swell thy fame of dear old state. Tonight, you'll see 6 videos that showcase our impact, each one focusing on a different area. First up, learn how we spread the good news of Penn State and how we enhance the student experience. Where else would you rather be than celebrating with fellow Penn Staters? Enjoy the evening, and thank you.
Spreading the good news of Penn State and her alumni has been part of the Alumni Association's DNA from the beginning. For generations, telling stories in the Alumni News and its successor, the Penn Stater magazine, has instilled pride in our alumni around the world who celebrate the accomplishments of their alma mater and the impact of their fellow alumni. Penn Staters transform lives wherever they go, and spreading the good news is about telling their stories, celebrating their accomplishments, and inspiring our Penn State family. From stories in the Penn Stater about Derek Campana, a 2001 grad who makes braces and prosthetics for animals around the world, one of the very few people in the world who do what he does, and the Happy Valley music scene, which taps into the unique nostalgia that Penn Staters have for dear old state. Alumni stay connected and are continually reminded of all the reasons that Penn State will forever remain home to them. The Penn State degree is among the most prestigious and valued in the world. It says something about the person who holds this degree. The best way for the Alumni Association to continually contribute to the value of the Penn State degree is by continuing to sing the song of our alumni and university. This is our calling as an organization, and one that will continue to define us into the future. There are more stories to tell, and our best is yet to come.
Through membership in the Blue and White Society, students begin creating indelible memories and lasting connections at the onset of their educational journey at Penn State. Since 1982, line ambassadors have walked backward to advance our university forward by introducing prospective students to the university. With highly popular events such as Guard the Line Shrine, Be a Part from the Start, and Rally in the Valley, hosted by the Alumni Association student groups, students begin to see early on how much Penn State has to offer and the powerful bonds that exist at our university. Students create their own sense of connection, develop leadership skills, and actively participate in creating their Penn State experience and ensure it'll be one they'll want to continue forever. Through the Fast Start Mentoring Program, alumni and staff mentor first-year students and help them navigate their Penn State experience during their transition to a new learning environment. There are numerous opportunities for students to have a full experience at Penn State by engaging with the Penn State Alumni Association. Somewhere along the way, students learned that what they thought was a four-year decision to attend Penn State was, in fact, a lifelong decision to be a Penn Stater.
Thank you for those videos, Paul. What a beautiful reminder of all the Alumni Association does to tell the Penn State story and draw even more Penn Staters into our community's shared history. The Alumni Association's drive to capture Penn State pride and deepen the student experience are just two of many reasons we're recognizing the association as this year's Renaissance Fund honoree. The Renaissance Fund itself, like the Alumni Association, has established a rich history of support for students at Penn State. We're lucky to have two of these outstanding students, one current and one former, joining us this evening. By sharing their own Penn State journey, they'll offer a glimpse into the Renaissance Fund's impact on talented students with great financial need. You'll also hear a bit more about the Alumni Association's unique contributions to the student experience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lauren Packer-Webster. I'm a proud 2004 Penn State graduate and life member of the Penn State Alumni Association with a degree in Communication and Media Studies. I currently am the Director of Athletics and Recreation for Franklin and Marshall College, and I'm in my 14th year helping student athletes achieve excellence in the classroom, in competition, and in the community. My passion for sports has been lifelong, and the opportunity to continue as a student athlete led me to Penn State Barron, where I was a member of the water polo and softball teams. Sports provided me with a built-in support network at Penn State, but as a first-generation college student, I was still overwhelmed by navigating the many unknowns. That's where the Renaissance Fund came in to help. In my first year at Barron, I was awarded the Annette Searson-Rohrbeck Renaissance Scholarship. The scholarship eased my financial burden throughout my years at Penn State, but most importantly, it provided a sense of belonging, encouragement, and opportunity to explore different academic pathways. Thanks to the support of my Renaissance Scholarship, I pursued a minor in English, served as editor-in-chief of the student newspaper, competed in a national championship, and developed leadership skills. Each semester, I learned more about my interests and future goals. My journey continues to this day, but now I find myself in a role that interweaves perfectly all my passions and pathways. When I first accepted the position at Franklin and Marshall College, the Rohrbecks were some of the first people I contacted to share the news. I know from my experience as a Renaissance Scholar that we do not walk alone. On behalf of the many former Renaissance Fund scholarship recipients, thank you to the Renaissance Fund Board of Directors and all Renaissance Fund donors who helped to create transformative journeys like my own. Now, it's my honor to introduce Layla Hosney, a junior at Penn State and fellow Renaissance Fund scholarship recipient. Layla and I have both benefited from our experiences as Renaissance scholars. And through her story, you'll hear about how the Renaissance Fund and the Penn State Alumni Association continue to create opportunities and pathways for students to explore at Penn State.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Lauren. My name is Layla Hosney, and I'm a junior at Penn State University Park with an intended major in finance and minor in economics. I grew up in a small town called Dillsburg, 30 minutes south of Harrisburg. While I enjoyed my time there, I always dreamed of going to a big school where there was a place for everyone's interests and where I could really explore my passions. Little did I know that Penn State would offer all of this and so much more. I originally applied to Penn State in the Division of Undergraduate Studies. I knew I enjoyed mathematics and serving others, but wasn't sure what major to select, and I had no idea where those interests could lead me after graduation. That's when I got an email from the Fast Start Mentorship Program. Fast Start is a program run by the Alumni Association that matches first-year students with 2 mentors to help them adapt to college and find their path. I jumped at the opportunity to sign up and was lucky to be matched with Paul Clifford, CEO of the Alumni Association, and Amber Redmond, Director of Alumni Relations for Penn State World Campus. My mentors have truly shaped my Penn State experience. Paul introduced me to some of his contacts, taught me how to construct a resume, and helped me find my place here at University Park. And with Amber's advice, I have developed the tools to balance academics, work, and other involvement on campus. The Fast Start program was an incredible resource in transitioning smoothly to college, but it definitely wasn't the only support I found here. As a recipient of the Graham and Sandra Spanier Renaissance Scholarship, the Penn State community and donors like you have also granted me greater financial freedom to explore my interest. While I do work a part-time job to contribute to my school expenses, scholarship support has allowed me to worry less about how much I make and focus more on what I like to do and how I can positively impact others. One experience that has really stuck with me is working as a teller in a credit union. This led me to realize my interest in the banking world and encouraged me to major in finance. Because I'm studying finance, it shouldn't be a surprise that I carefully consider the impact of my college expenses when making choices and managing my time. The contributions given to the Renaissance Fund are the reason why I and many others are able to worry less about the cost of our education and focus more on pursuing our passions. While I still have a few more years until I can embark on my career in the finance world, the Renaissance Scholarship support allows me to make an impact on my community right now as a teaching assistant, child care provider, and tutor. And I hope to continue to give back to this wonderful Penn State community even after graduation. Thank you to the Alumni Association for supporting first-year students looking to get their college career off to a fast start. And thank you to everyone who has given to the Renaissance Fund. I and many others would not have had the opportunity to fully embrace the Penn State experience without your support. On behalf of all Renaissance Fund scholars, I want to thank you for helping us along this journey to find and pursue our passions.
Thank you, Lauren and Layla, for sharing your experiences with us tonight. These women are outstanding examples of the exceptional individuals that Renaissance scholarships support. Their successes are a testament to the drive and dedication of all Renaissance scholars and their potential to reach new heights, both at Penn State and far beyond. The Alumni Association helps to ensure that Penn Staters, like Lauren and Layla, can stay connected with their alma mater as they deepen their pride and explore their shared interests. Now we'll hear more about how the Alumni Association extends the reach of the Penn State network and enriches the value of a Penn State education through its third and fourth pillars, building and sustaining lifelong relationships, and harnessing the power of the Penn State network.
The Alumni Association continues to build and sustain lifelong relationships with our graduates. Our reunions, our high-profile events like homecoming, our travel over the country to meet alumni where they live and work, help to ensure that all Penn Staters can share a camaraderie and a connection with their alma mater. The bond we have with each other and with the university grows stronger each year as we use every opportunity we have to stay connected. More than 3,000 volunteers power Alumni Association groups that unite Penn Staters through geographic regions, shared interests, and academic colleges. Anywhere alumni decide to live and work, there'll be a blue and white connection. Since the first graduating class, many Penn State alumni have remembered their time in college. Our leaders often repeat former President Eric Walker's message, "Wherever you go, Penn State will go with you. You are now a part of her. Her image will be cast in your image." The association strives to maintain this connection among us, so we know we always have a place at Penn State. We alumni are a critical component. We serve as volunteers, many of whom mentor students and young alumni. We provide a network for career advice and help to pass on the history, traditions, and values that we cherish as a community and a university.
The power of Penn State starts with a cheer that champions diversity. It then extends through communities, organizations, families, and businesses of every kind that are fueled by the relentless ambition and energy of Penn State alumni who innovate, discover, and forge ahead with new perspectives and questions. The Alumni Association awards programs honor alumni who have made significant contributions to their communities and their professions. When Alumni Award winners allow us to tell their stories, it provides inspiration to our students, fuels the pride of fellow alumni, and enhances the reputation of dear old state. Award winners such as John Urschel, Keegan-Michael Key, Lisa Salters, Matt Schuyler, and Jim Stengel lend their accomplishment to lift up the Penn State brand. Their words are inspirational and aspirational, letting everyone know, Penn State helped me accomplish my dreams. Penn State can help you accomplish yours too. The Penn State degree is among the most prestigious and valued in the world. It says something about the person that holds this degree. The best way for the Alumni Association to continually contribute to the value of the Penn State degree is by continuing to highlight and share the impact that Penn Staters have all over the globe. This is our calling as an organization, and one that will continue to define us into the future.
Countless communities of Penn Staters have benefited from the programs highlighted in these videos, and many of those communities are right here in Center County. Our annual Renaissance Fund honorees are pillars of the local community. Their impact often extends far beyond Happy Valley, but they never forget their roots in the Center region. The Penn State Alumni Association is no exception. The association's events draw alumni and friends back to campus, which helps to enrich the area economy. The organization's Center County chapter hosts events to send Penn State pride through every corner of the region, and it coordinates volunteer opportunities for members to stay connected to Penn State and contribute to local organizations. From its home base in Happy Valley, the Alumni Association works to deliver these experiences to communities in every state and more than 175 countries around the world. Our next speaker's roots in the local community also run deep. Here to share her unique perspective on the Alumni Association as the 2020 Renaissance Fund honoree is my good friend and mentor, Mimi Barish-Coppersmith, a 1954 graduate of the university, longtime Center County resident, and founding member of the Renaissance Fund Board of Directors.
Somehow, for the Renaissance Fund Board to choose to recognize the Penn State Alumni Association and the thousands of Penn Staters and local citizens they represent, curiously brings back warm memories of my immigrant parents, Max Unger, who completed the seventh grade, and Tilly Landau, who made it through 10th grade. They led a modest, simple life, encouraged us to make a difference, that education is essential to success. They raised 5 children. I was number 4, the first to get a powerful Penn State degree and well-rounded extracurricular experience. I made it through in 6 semesters and 9 weeks of summer courses with the help of scholarships and part-time jobs in this amazing town and gown. That perfect Penn State education helped me build relationships and connections that have become love affairs and experiences like this amazing event. Those opportunities last a lifetime as we in our alma mater grow and excel. The Alumni Association's very presence here and all over our nation, plus countries around the world, has an impact on the future that we wait. Tonight, while we celebrate the organization's longevity, the association is helping us stage what may be one of our most successful Renaissance celebrations in 44 years, to provide support to academically talented students with the greatest financial need. The Penn State Alumni Association is another symbol of our best, perpetuating pride and promise for the future that we wait. As we celebrate the Renaissance Fund and this year's honoree, I'd like to pause a moment to remember a good friend, Jesse Arnell, a distinguished alumnus and co-founder of the Renaissance Fund, who passed away last month. As a student athlete, philanthropist, and lifelong university leader, Jesse exemplified the integrity and service to community that so beautifully capture what the Renaissance Fund and the Alumni Association stand for. We can look back on Jesse's character and service to Penn State and the broader communities to gain inspiration as we forge ahead. There is no better place to honor his memory than at this event, which he helped to bring to life so many years ago. We will continue his legacy through each Renaissance Fund celebration moving forward. In these troubling and tenuous times, my own sense of responsibility to help pay back future generations, my enthusiasm for the event is on fire. You can ask any board member what I have longed for each year will hopefully become a reality tonight. A record-setting celebration that, despite looking different from past years, is no less special than the rest. Thank you to all of you here tonight who have contributed to this effort through your generosity. When my parents dropped me off August 28, 1950, at McAllister Hall, a woman's dorm at that time, early in my 17th year, my 5-year-old brother screamed with tears, "Mimi, don't leave me." I did leave, of course, to embark on what's been a beautiful journey at Penn State, and I haven't left the university since. Who would have guessed that one day in 1976, I'd be elected an alumni trustee as a liberal Jewish woman, and ultimately become the first woman to chair the Board of Trustees. Because we are Penn State, tonight we're passing that kind of opportunity to kids who dream as I did. Penn State forever, loyal and true, every day, in every way. Thank you for helping us to surprise the naysayers and possibly even reach a fundraising milestone tonight. Penn State, molder of men and women who make a difference and pass their good fortune onto future generations into perpetuity. This year's Renaissance Fund honoree, the Penn State Alumni Association, is the catalyst to lifetime connections that are breaking barriers as well. Congratulations, and thank you for your move to make this a meaningful and historic milestone for the Renaissance Board and the community. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mimi. Coming from someone whose own contributions have so thoroughly touched the university and local community, your words help us grasp the depth and breadth of the association's impact here, in their own backyard, and far beyond. Now, to round out our vision of the Alumni Association's rich history and contributions to communities far and wide, we'll learn about its fifth pillar, celebrating academic achievement, as well as its sixth pillar, upholding tradition and sustaining spirit. Afterward, we'll be joined again by Randy Houston, who serves as president of the Penn State Alumni Association.
One of the cornerstones of the Penn State Alumni Association is celebrating the vast academic achievements of our students, faculty, and alumni. And there's so much to celebrate. Last year, for example, the Center for World University Rankings placed Penn State 47th out of the more than 17,000 colleges and universities on planet Earth. Through annual award recognitions that showcase Penn Staters who've distinguished themselves professionally, to events such as Huddle with the Faculty and City Lights, and through our award-winning Penn Stater magazine, we show alumni how Penn State is preparing the next generation of leaders and impacting the world through research and outreach. Showcasing these accomplishments sets the bar ever higher for current and future generations of students, faculty, and alumni. It sends a clear message that people who want to change the world for the better choose to come to Penn State. This commitment to celebrating academic excellence fuels the Alumni Association in other ways. Over the last 30 years, we've provided more than $20 million in philanthropic support across the university for endowed teaching awards, undergraduate scholarships, graduate and professional school endowments, programs and facilities, and so much more. Our beloved alma mater is a beacon of excellence in lifelong learning, research and discovery, outreach and service, and we are proud beyond measure to champion that excellence around the world.
Tradition abounds at Penn State and within the Penn State Alumni Association. From upholding traditions such as the iconic S-Zone at each home football game, created by our Lion ambassadors, to supporting new initiatives, such as sponsoring the Whiteout Pep Rally at Thon. Tradition instills a sense of never-ending pride within alumni that is passed down from generation to generation. Our student groups and our vast network of our alumni groups play a critical role in this endeavor. No matter where Penn Staters travel across the globe, there will always be a good chance to see a fellow graduate wearing their Penn State gear. There are endless stories of far-off locations where Penn Staters have heard someone shout, "We are," in their direction. Whether it's at a local joint or a global destination, the contingent of blue and white supporters is abundant. Why and how does this happen? In a word, tradition. There are certain experiences that are quintessential Penn State and can occur on any university campus across the Commonwealth, such as a picture by a lion shrine or singing the alma mater to end a gathering of Penn Staters. We are here now because of all the work and progress made by previous generations of Penn Staters, and the Alumni Association sees it as our responsibility to ensure our predecessors' work doesn't go unnoticed or unappreciated. We honor the efforts of Penn Staters who came before us by working tirelessly to uphold and maintain the traditions they envisioned and brought to life by showcasing the true Penn State experience that all students and alumni can have now and for generations to come.
Good evening. I'm Randy Houston, president of your Penn State Alumni Association. I want to join with Paul and say on behalf of all of our members and all Penn Staters who we serve every day, thank you to the Renaissance Fund Committee for selecting the Alumni Association as this year's honoree. This recognition and the ability to build upon our philanthropic efforts with the Renaissance Fund Scholarship is incredibly meaningful for us, as it will enhance our ability to continue attracting bright students who will continue to swell Penn State's fame. You've heard a lot tonight about why Penn State is such a special place for alumni and fans, and the role that the Alumni Association plays in building and sustaining life connections in a variety of ways. We hope your belief has been reaffirmed, or that you've been otherwise inspired to see an area where you can get involved. It'll be said many times tonight that the Alumni Association doesn't fulfill our mission on our own, and that's true. Every Penn State graduate has a wealth of knowledge that they can share, and we encourage you to connect with fellow alumni, whether it's in your own community or with someone on the other side of the country with whom you have a shared interest or professional field. Looking now at this year, while we haven't celebrated our anniversary in the fashion that we were expecting, we've adapted to the times. In addition to hosting hundreds of virtual events and providing an opportunity for alumni to share their stories, perspectives, and business acumen, the Alumni Association continued its long legacy of philanthropy to the university. In early May, Alumni Council pledged $10,000 in support of the Penn State Student Care and Advocacy Emergency Fund. This gift provided critical support to students who've been adversely impacted by the coronavirus pandemic and its financial and health-related implications. Also, as a society, we continue struggling with social and racial injustice, which impacts many Penn Staters, perhaps in ways we don't always realize. To ensure our alumni know we're here to support them, we organized several opportunities to connect with our volunteers of color, to hear their concerns, and listen to their suggestions for how we can continue serving our diverse alumni. In addition, we hosted a diversity, equity, and inclusion panel discussion titled Inclusivity Through Volunteer Leadership, an opportunity open to our 3,000 volunteer leaders worldwide. Joining me on this panel were presidents of the Alumni Association's African American alumni organizations in Pittsburgh and Atlanta. This event was held as a precursor to the university's town hall discussion titled Toward Racial Equity at Penn State: Social Difference, Social Equity, and Social Change. Through these efforts and more, the Alumni Association strives to serve Penn State alumni everywhere, and we're honored and thrilled to be this year's Renaissance Fund honoree.
Thank you, Randy. I think the Alumni Council is truly fortunate to have such a dedicated leader at the helm, and I know the Penn State community is grateful for your contributions to the alumni experience. As our time together this evening draws near its end, I want to thank all of you at home for joining us. This year's format may be different, but we can still feel the spirit of the Renaissance Fund, its scholarship recipients, and our exceptional donors and volunteers. Your presence here tonight says a lot about the strength of our community, which I hope makes you optimistic for the future of our institution as we forge ahead into another year. Before we close out the celebration, I'd like to invite President Barron to join us again to officially recognize the Penn State Alumni Association and reveal this year's fundraising total toward Renaissance scholarships.
Thank you, Rich. First, I'd like to once again recognize the Alumni Association and thank the organization for its contributions to this year's fundraising efforts. As you already heard, the association made an extraordinary commitment to match gifts made to any Renaissance Fund. We shouldn't be surprised, but they have actually taken it one step further. The Alumni Association also committed an extraordinary $500,000 to their own named Renaissance Scholarship. Time and again, the Alumni Association has been there for Penn State students, and this year is no exception. With this gift of their own, they've shown up in a huge way for talented Penn State students with great financial need. I'm happy to share that this year, contributions to the Renaissance Fund in the Alumni Association's name added up to $1,509,687.10. This is the largest ever single-year fundraising total for the Renaissance Fund. We know this is a testament to our community's pride in the Alumni Association, and it's a fitting show of support for everything the organization has done to uplift Penn Staters over the past 150 years. On behalf of the university and our community, we're proud to officially recognize the Penn State Alumni Association as the 2020 Renaissance Fund honoree and to present Paul Clifford, CEO of the Alumni Association, with this commemorative glass piece in recognition of the organization's commitment to Penn State and the Center region. Congratulations to the Penn State Alumni Association.
Thank you. To echo the sentiments of our president, Randy Houston, on behalf of the Penn State Alumni Association, I'd like to thank Dr. Barron, George Henning, and the entire Renaissance Fund Committee for choosing the Alumni Association for this prestigious honor. As this evening comes to a close, I'd like to thank my fellow presenters and all of the Penn Staters who are tuning in tonight. This year has been challenging for many of us, though we know that anytime Penn Staters gather, good things can happen. And tonight is the latest example. Serving the Penn State community is at the core of the Alumni Association's mission, and for that, we're truly grateful. Of course, we don't fulfill our mission on our own. Regional chapters, groups organized around shared interest, and our dedicated volunteers allow us to connect with Penn Staters around the world. As we know, Penn Staters are everywhere. It's always powerful when alumni send us pictures, whether they're flying jets in service to our nation, wearing Penn State gear when they travel, or showing their pride by using a Penn State virtual Zoom background. A reminder that wherever you are never too far from a fellow Nittany Lion. One of the reasons that students choose Penn State is the power of the Penn State Network. We're particularly proud of our student organizations, which bring students into that network from the very beginning of their Penn State experience. Our Lion ambassadors serve as hosts and tradition keepers, and our Blue-White Society helps students build a lifelong relationship with Penn State. Each generation has different expectations of the Alumni Association. The methods may change, but the goal remains the same for the association, engaging loyal, passionate alumni in support of this great institution. While we honor and recognize our proud past and storied history, we celebrate our 150th anniversary. The Alumni Association's main focus is on the future. In many ways, we're just getting started and will forever strive to ensure every Penn State graduate enjoys a lifelong connection to dear old state. Please join me as we welcome 12 seniors from Penn State School of Music Theater. They'll close out the night for us as we raise the song of Dear Old State. Thank you for all you do for the university, for the glory, and for the future. We are.
For the glory of old state, for her founder strong and great, for the future that we wait, raise the song, raise the song.
Sing our love and loyalty,
sing our hopes that bright and free.
Rest, O Mother dear, with thee, all with thee, all with thee.
When we stood at childhood's gate, shapeless in the hands of fate, thou didst mold us, dear old state, dear old state, dear old state.
May no act of ours bring shame
to one heart
that loves thy name.
May our lives but swell thy fame,
Dear old state,
dear